Watch a cat at a garden pond. It finds the absolute most stagnant corner, the part with the film on top, the part that has clearly been sitting there since the last rainfall, and drinks from it with complete commitment. No hesitation, no consequences. It wanders back inside, curls up on the sofa, and does not think about it again. If you drank the same water, your afternoon would look very different. So what is actually happening? Why can animals consume water that would level a human and then simply get on with it? The answer is not one thing. It is a system, several overlapping defenses built across millions of years of evolution, each one addressing a different way that contaminated water tries to cause harm. Before getting into how it works, though, one honest correction. Animals do get sick from dirty water. In the wild, contaminated water sources kill animals regularly. When a wild animal becomes seriously ill, it hides. It retreats somewhere out of sight and either recovers or does not. You never see it. So when you watch a healthy animal drink from something questionable and walk away fine, you are watching a survivor. The animals that drank from that same source and died are not visible anymore. The full picture is messier than it appears. But animals do survive these encounters far more often than humans would, and the biology behind that is genuinely worth understanding. The first layer is stomach acid. Human stomach acid typically measures between pH 1.5 and 3.5 on the acidity scale. Cats consistently measure between pH 1 and pH 2. That difference sounds small in numbers, but represents a significant increase in antimicrobial intensity. Stomach acid at these levels denature proteins, disrupt bacterial cell membranes, and creates an environment that most pathogens simply cannot survive. Any bacteria that makes it past the mouth and into that environment encounters conditions so extreme that the odds of making it through are low. Cats and many other carnivores also have relatively short digestive tracts compared to other animals. This matters for a specific reason. Bacteria need time to colonize. The shorter the transit time, the smaller the window for harmful bacteria to establish themselves before they are expelled. The system is built for throughput rather than extended processing. The second layer rarely gets discussed: saliva. Cat's saliva is not just a lubricant for swallowing. It contains several active antimicrobial compounds. Lysozyme physically ruptures bacterial cell walls. Lactoferrin binds to iron, which bacteria require to reproduce, essentially starving them before they reach the stomach. Peroxidase adds another antibacterial function. Immunoglobulins act as antibodies doing active patrol in the mouth itself. This is part of why cats groom so obsessively. Every time a cat licks its fur, it applies a mild antimicrobial wash to the surface. The grooming behavior is not purely about appearance, it is biological maintenance. The saliva is doing chemical work. So before contaminated water even reaches the stomach, it is already passed through a chemical environment designed to reduce the bacterial load, not eliminate it entirely, but reduce it meaningfully. The third, and perhaps most interesting layer, is microbial. Inside every animal's gut lives an enormous ecosystem of bacteria and microorganisms. This community, called the microbiome, has developed over that animal's entire lifetime through constant exposure to local environments. And in a healthy, established animal, it functions as a standing army against incoming threats. When a cat regularly drinks from the same garden pond, something important happens over time. The immune system and gut microbiome adapt to the specific bacteria present in that water. They encounter those organisms repeatedly, catalog them, and develop calibrated responses. The water that looks dangerous to us is, to that cat's immune system, familiar, known, already profiled. This is familiarity, not immunity, and it is built entirely through exposure. It is also why a domestic animal that has spent its life drinking filtered tap water may not have the same resilience when suddenly exposed to outdoor water sources.
The microbiome of that animal is calibrated for cleanliness. It is not built the same catalog of local pathogens. Different animals solve the contamination problem through different architectures. Horses are a useful contrast. Horses are herbivores whose digestion happens primarily not in the stomach, but in a large fermentation chamber called the cecum and large intestine. A full-size horse's gastrointestinal tract holds enormous volume, and inside it lives one of the densest microbial communities in the animal kingdom. Thousands of bacterial species, all established, all competing for the same resources. When a horse drinks from a river and takes in unwanted bacteria, those pathogens do not land in an empty environment. They arrive in the middle of an already thriving ecosystem where every available niche is claimed. The existing microbial community outcompetes them by density alone. It is a completely different defense from a carnivore's acid chamber, but equally effective. Scale and diversity act as a biological fortress. The vulnerability of this system is its sensitivity. Disruptions through sudden diet changes, stress, or antibiotics can destabilize that ecosystem dramatically. The same mechanism that protects the horse is also its weak point.
Why can humans not do any of this? The honest answer is that we solve the problem from a different direction. For most of human history, clean water did not exist. People drank from rivers and wells and got sick regularly. Waterborne disease was among the leading causes of death throughout human history. But our species did not evolve stronger stomach acid or denser microbiomes as the primary response. We invented fire, cooking, and eventually water treatment systems. We externalized the filtration. Instead of building a body that could handle contamination, we removed the contamination before it reached the body. This worked extraordinarily well. Clean water infrastructure has saved more human lives than nearly any other development in history. But the trade-off is that our bodies are now calibrated for cleanliness. Our stomach acid is less aggressive, partly because we cook food, which kills pathogens before we swallow them. Our microbiomes are less hardened to environmental bacteria because our exposure has been reduced. We did not get weaker. We redirected the effort outward. The cat evolved a kill chamber in its stomach and a microbiome tuned to whatever lives in the local pond. We built water treatment plants, different solutions to the same problem, and at population scale, ours performs better. But on an individual level, watching a cat drink something that looks like it should be illegal and then immediately ask for dinner, the biology doing that quietly in the background is genuinely impressive. The water is not harmless. The cat is just better equipped.